Okay, so I kind of want to talk about one of the biggest things that you don't want to do when wanting to manifest anything. Okay, there's a pretty big list of things not to do, but this is probably the most common one that I see from everybody who's just stepping off onto the manifestation path for the very first time. And I'm guilty of this too when I very first stepped off onto my manifestation path. And I've come up with a little term called 5WH. Okay, the five W's and the H: who, what, when, where, why, and how. There's many reasons why you don't want to do this. Okay, but let's just go ahead and rip it apart and explain it from the beginning. Okay, first of all, it depends on what type of manifestation you're manifesting. I'm talking about one specific type of manifestation. There's two kinds, okay? A-type manifestations and B-type. A-type manifestations are those things that we will manifest many times throughout our life. Okay, they're repeats of things that we have experienced and things that people around us have experienced. Okay, like a new car or a new apartment or a new job. And again, these things are repeats of things that we've experienced in the past. I've had a car like this before. Or even before you ever get to manifest an A-type manifestation for the first time, somebody around you has, okay? Like if it's my first car, well, my dad has bought a car before, or somebody I know has had this same car. They're repeats of things that you or people around you have had or experienced before. The thing about A-type manifestations is that you can take a pen and a paper and you can write down the 5WH, the who, what, when, where, the why, and the how. You can plan every single step that it takes from A to Z to bring about an A-type manifestation. Okay? Then we have B-type manifestations, and these are the ones that I'm talking about. A B-type manifestation is that big, huge, like if you want to think A-type, B-type, big, B for big, huge, life-changing experience that's unlike anything you have ever experienced before. And more than likely, 95 to 99% of the time, nobody around you has ever experienced anything like this before. Okay? That perfect, happy, successful relationship with your actual life partner, or that big, booming, successful, six-figure, seven-figure business, an amount of money that you've never made before in your life, or that you don't know anybody that's ever made this much money, or at least you're not like really close to anybody that's made this much money, So the thing about a B-type manifestation, obviously, is it's unlike anything you've ever experienced before. So we can't use those A-type strategies to bring about B-type manifestations. Okay? The A-type strategies are the who, the what, when, where, why, and how do I do this? And I'm going to plan this part, and then once I do this right here and that right there, and I'll run through these steps, and then as soon as that happens, this is going to happen. And it doesn't work that way. Okay? That part of us, the thinking, analytical, critical, ego thinking brain that likes to try to solve puzzles and figure out, and calculate things. That part of you is nothing but a record of past experiences. That's all it is. It's a record of past experiences. The only thing that the ego analytical thinking brain is good at doing is gathering information that it's learned in the past and using that information to try to come up with something in the future, to try to be able to prepare itself, to keep itself safe, to avoid certain obstacles and whatnot. The problem is with the ego's not good at figuring out how to create things that it has never experienced. It thinks that it is. The ego thinks it knows everything, but the ego's really stupid. It doesn't really know much. The only thing it knows is what it's experienced in the past. A B-type manifestation is unlike anything you've ever experienced in the past. Nothing that this ego analytical thinking brain has ever experienced in the past is sufficient enough to figure out how to create something that it has never experienced before. If it was capable of doing that, it would have had it and experienced it a long time ago. You see what I'm saying? So, who, what, when, where, why, and how, if you're looking for a B-type manifestation, you can't do this. You can't do this, okay? Now, if you're working on an A-type manifestation, that's totally different, okay? If you're wanting to figure out how, to manifest a brand new car, you can plan those steps out, okay? If you want to eventually own your own home, you can plan those steps out and you can write it all out. Okay, but if you're wanting to figure out how to equalize the frequency and attract your life partner or an absolute ridiculous abundance of money, okay, you're not going to be able to plan that out. The only way to bring about a B-type manifestation, this is where it gets tricky, and this is where developing that relationship with the universe that I always talk about comes into play. You have to allow the universe to bring it to you. Okay? You have to allow the universe to bring it to you. How the hell do I do that? That's the tricky part. It takes practice, but after you start really working with it, and you get over that first, what I call the first hump, and you start seeing results for the first time, it becomes easier and it gets a little bit addictive. All right. So, the first thing that you have to do, I'm going to use some analogies here. The first thing you have to do is walk up to the door to see if you'll trigger the motion sensor to get it to open. If it doesn't, turn the doorknob. If it's locked, knock on it. Okay, the analogy I'm using is you have to start taking action in the direction in which you think you're supposed to go. Another analogy I like to use is my goal is at the top of that mountain. I don't know if you all live in an area with mountains. Obviously, I live in Las Vegas, so I can look out my window and I can see mountains way off in the distance there. And that mountain out my window right there is maybe 30 miles away. Okay? I got to start walking towards it. If you can imagine, you can see a rainbow touching it. And it's 30, 40 miles away. You got to pick a path and start walking in that direction. You have to start walking in that direction before the universe can respond and start lining things up to make it happen. Okay? Now here's the problem. When we use this ego, analytical, critical thinking brain, again, we don't know how to create something that we've never experienced. We have no idea how to do that. So a lot of things are going to start happening. A lot of things are going to start happening when you set off down this path. There's going to be a lot of things that you have put in place for yourself in this life that can't be there. That can't be there. That they have to go. They have to go. If they could be there, you would have experienced it already. So the universe is going to start pulling people out of your life that don't fit that frequency. The universe is going to start separating you from certain places that you used to hang out, maybe the job that you work. You might end up losing your job, especially if you're working on manifesting finances. I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but don't be surprised if bad things start happening at work, and then you may notice, these are just examples, all of a sudden your boss starts getting this funky attitude with you out of nowhere. Like, what did I do, dude? They just start getting it, and all of a sudden you're being targeted, These are the types of things that happen. All of a sudden your boss is getting this funky attitude with you. Your friends are starting to kind of turn on you. Rumors are getting spread about you around the office, and you're like, what in the hell? The universe is lining things up to bring you your manifestation. Let it happen. You have to start walking in that direction and allow whatever starts happening to happen. And you have to stay on that path. Okay? How? Don't worry about how. The universe will do that for you. When? It depends on you. It depends on how long it takes you to get ready. Because when these things start happening, a lot of times we're going to freak out and try to control everything. Oh, I don't want this to happen. I can't let this person leave my life. I can't lose my job. It might take a little bit longer then. It just really, your ability to let go And yes, there is actual quantum physics that goes into this too, because the power of your focus and your perception puts a clamp on the quantum field. Okay? Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. I learned this from a scientist. Okay? This is very hidden and suppressed science. The more you think about and focus on something, the more of a clamp you're putting on the quantum field. Okay? So, as these things start to happen, your ability to let go and let flow is what depends on the time frame. Okay? Now, this has multi layers and it's multifaceted. A lot of the things that you start going through are also subsequently going to be lessons you need to learn in order to be able to function when this new manifestation is brought into your life. There's many different reasons why the certain things start happening. Okay? Say, for example, you want to manifest a business. I'm going to use some of the analogies from my experience, but I didn't make any of this up. I had to walk the path too. Where do I start? Pick a path and start walking. Go to Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever you use. How to start an online business. Bam. And start doing research. Start doing research. Start partnering with certain companies. Any company out there that has an online website, you can partner with them and you can promote their products. Start there. Start somewhere. Somewhere. Okay? Does this mean that this particular business is going to be successful overnight? I mean, it's not impossible. We can't say anything is impossible, but it's a possibility that no, it won't. That doesn't matter. That's a knock on the door. The universe sees what you want. Okay? Even if that business crashes and burns, the universe sees exactly what you want. That does not mean that it's a failure. That doesn't mean it's a failure. Okay? It's a learning experience. The universe says, oh, I see what you want. Okay. I got you. Your manifestation is over here on this timeline, and you're on this timeline. Okay? There's some things, in order for you to make it to this timeline, there's some things you're going to have to learn. Okay? So you're going to go through some challenges. You're going to go through some obstacles. And how quickly will you learn these lessons? Again, that's another reason why you don't want to figure out when it's going to happen. And again, like I said in my last video, the universe is very playful. The universe is very playful and you are very powerful. So if you're searching and waiting for when it's going to happen, the universe is going to say, oh, you like searching and waiting. Okay, no problem. Here's some more searching and waiting. The universe is going to keep you searching and keep you waiting. Again, what I refer to as reverse manifestation. Okay? These are the things you don't want to do. Don't worry about when. Don't worry about who. Because I guarantee you, it will happen when you least expect it. Okay? If you're expecting it, it's probably not going to happen. Who? It will be the person that you least expect. If you have your eye on somebody and you're suspecting that that's who, it's probably not. Where? Again, probably more than likely in the place you would least expect it. If you are looking for it and expecting it and you have your eye on a person, and it's probably not going to happen. Okay? It's not anything that this analytical thinking brain can figure out. Why? It'll be the reason that you would least expect. I'm telling you, your ability to let go is the majority of your ability to manifest a B-type manifestation. And I know that sounds easy, but it's not. If it was easy, everybody would be able to do it. This is among the many things that some of the most popular people out there who teach manifestation and attraction to the masses leave out of the equation. They leave a lot of these things out, okay? That not only to be able to visualize, that's good, okay? I'm not saying that visualization is bad, but you need to know when to cut that off. You need to know when to turn the visualization off. You need to be able to figure out when is the appropriate time to stop looking, stop thinking, stop trying to figure it out. Walk in the path as if you already have it. Again, I'll use the same example with money. What am I really wanting? It's not money. What I'm wanting is to not need to worry about money. Stop worrying about money now. I know it sounds easy, but it's not, is it? How do I stop worrying about money when I don't have any? That's the trick. That's the trick. That's the trick. I want to not need to worry about when my bills are going to get paid. Then stop worrying about it now. I want to not worry about whether or not I can put gas in the tank. Stop worrying about it now. I'm telling you, I know it sounds easy, and I know it's not easy. Try it. Try it. Put a little rubber band around your wrist. And every time you catch yourself thinking about money, flick it. Every time you catch yourself worrying about, oh my God, will I have enough gas to get to work? Where am I going to get gas money? Flick it. Error thought. Error thought. It will be there when I need it. When I really need it, it will be there. I don't need to figure out when. I don't need to figure out how. But I tell you what, if I keep worrying about when, where, and why, and all these things, the universe is going to keep giving me more reasons to worry about who, what, when, where, why, and how. You see what I'm saying? I just figured I would touch on that. Okay, I got a lot of positive feedback from the last manifestation video, and I know I really slacked off on putting these videos up here. Like, it's been about a year since I've done this, but I'm really doing the best that I can to get back on this. There's so many new faces out there and so many people who need to hear this information. And again, this is my primary foundation. This is all I ever set out to learn. All I ever set out to learn. Okay, so I walk the path the same way that I teach it. Okay, so what I teach isn't my opinion. Okay, what is my opinion is that my way of teaching it is easier to understand. I vowed to myself when I very first stepped off onto my manifestation path, if I ever end up in a position to be able to teach it or to be able to reach a large audience, I'm going to explain this in a way that anybody can link up to it and understand. That's my goal. Am I successful at that? I really don't know. But at least that's my intention and that's my goal, is to be able to explain it in a way that's easier to understand than what anybody else out there is explaining. Okay? Anyway, I just wanted to leave you all with that. Again, I wish you love, luck, light, and prosperity on your journey. Y'all have a good day.